pictures that had been circulating on the internet are those that were with, the title swindler, the husband. No pictures of Beyonce were yet in circulation. However, the pictures are now out there, and it can be confirmed that she was also in attendance together with her husband and her mother. Now, so you guys know that the Beehive had started to say that Beyonce wasn't there. It was only the husband, because whenever there's anything negative, the Beehive always make it a point to separate Beyonce from her husband, to say they are not the same people. She has principles, he doesn't have principles. Like, that's what happens when Brother Billionaire does something ridiculous. They always try to make it seem like Beyonce is not in on it. So of course that was the Beehive's line of defense, to say that, well, it's this wicked man. Well, Beyonce wasn't there. So when the pictures came out, I guess there was no other excuse that they could come up with. And the internet is not happy with that. The internet is shocked. And I'm shocked. But I'm not shocked at the fact that Beyonce and her husband were at that party. I'm shocked at how slow the internet is when it comes to actually realizing that these people are not saints and that they can be selfish. It's just like, I'm looking at them acting surprised. Why would they do that to Kanye? Why? Like, we've been saying this for the longest of time. That man cares for nobody. And for me, it's the shamelessness. It's the shamelessness for me to say, you couldn't even come to this man's wedding, but you're here coming to the mother-in-law's birthday party. What's going on? Like, I cannot wait to see what exactly is going on behind the scenes, because we all can agree that the happenings of yesterday, from the Kelly Rowland support, public support, the pictures and everything, to the Kris Jenner birthday party, there is definitely something that is cooking behind the scenes. I hope there was no bagation for funds from the billionaires. I do hope there wasn't anything like that. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, you guys. Do you think that it's weird that Beyonce now wants to associate with the Kardashians, when for the longest of time her fans have been saying that she despises those women and she doesn't want to be seen next to Kim Kardashian? And also that she was disappointed when Kanye chose Kim for a wife. But in her defense, still, I didn't see any picture of Beyonce with Kim. I only saw a picture of Beyonce with the mom. So I guess that means she still doesn't want to associate with Kim Kardashian. I don't know if that would make any sense. Like, you despise me so much that you couldn't even attend your husband's best friend's wedding with me, but now you're coming and taking pictures with my mama. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Speaking about PR stunts and stuff, it seems like Brandy had a couple of words to say about Rihanna being in attendance at her show. And this is what she had to say. She said, "Oh, really? What a surprise. I love you and thank you for sharing your love and light with us last night," okay? And she shared that together with a picture of her and Rihanna. And I will say that these pictures are actually very flattering, not the ones that people were circulating on the internet. You guys, who raised you? Why do you guys do ridiculous things like that? That being said, some of you were pointing out, "Oh, Rihanna is aging." So what? Everybody ages. I bet as soon as she starts going excessive with the Botox and stuff, you're the same people that will come out here calling her out. What do you guys want from black women? What exactly do you want? You guys are the same people that ridicule Gabrielle Union, talking about, oh, she's doing too much with the Botox, yet you're out there ridiculing another woman for aging, which is a natural process that we all are going to go through. What is your problem? But anyway, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about, that laugh was about the PR thing, the fact that, well, allegedly, there might have been a call somewhere in there to say that, Rihanna, we don't care where you are, okay? Come out here, make a public appearance, give the people something to talk about. We cannot afford to have whatever that's happening come out to the media. We have to distract them. That's what the little laugh was for, but not about, you guys making fun of Rihanna for her aging. I do not subscribe to that. But anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Coileray. Now, you guys, Coileray has been moving on with the motivational quote, meme boy, Justin LeBoy, okay? Now, personally, I actually didn't also know. I'm part of the people that didn't know that he was an actual person. Like, I thought that was a fictitious character. I wouldn't have been surprised if a woman, would be claiming that I'm Justin LeBoy. I wouldn't have been surprised, because I really didn't think that, well, that's actually somebody. So lately, Coileray has been, spotted together with the man. They've been all lovey-dovey and all of these things. But now, allegations are coming forward that, in fact, this might be a PR relationship. To so what? I just don't know. They're claiming that this man is actually married and the woman is in on the PR relationship, and it's for promo. What is Coileray promoting? I mean, why does she feel like she needs a PR relationship? It's not like she forcefully sent a man to jail. I mean, even if she had done that, the first step that you should have done, Coileray, if you've got some criminal thing that you probably did, is look for a sympathy wig. You don't even have a sympathy wig. You literally skipped a step and you went straight to the PR relationship. Where's the sympathy wig? Where's the girl interview? What are you doing? You're doing it all wrong. Literally doing it all wrong. Like, what does Coileray need a PR relationship for? Who did you send to jail falsely? You haven't even lied to Gayle King. What are you doing? But anyway, that being said, speaking about lying and sympathy and all of these things, let's talk about the next thing that we will be covering in this video. The Milagro case, okay? It seems like more and more things are happening around this case. And a lot of people are beginning to realize that, in fact, you know what? The justice system is not just rigged, but it's non-existent. It's beginning to give, it does not exist at all. Because people are accusing that judge of being biased, okay? Allegedly, Bongo 2 has added another lawyer last minute, and they are refusing to give Milagro's lawyer, a pushback a little bit in as far as the date is concerned, because allegedly he has to be at another place, at another sentencing in a different place. And so he's been asking for the date to be pushed back a little bit, but they are refusing. But when it comes to Bongo 2 adding 20,000 lawyers more to the same case, of course, she is being granted all this nonsense. And at this point, the people that still side with Fraudulent Nation, I do not know, are you advocates of the devil? What exactly is going on? What is it about Fraudulent Nation that you relate to? What is it about this? It doesn't make any sense. Unless you're evil at the core and you're just evil for no reason because clearly it's not benefiting you. I just cannot begin to fathom how people can be like this. Like, why would you guys be siding with this unfairness? I don't get. You don't even have to like Milagro, but to see this and not see anything wrong with this is just crazy to me. It's insane. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, you guys, how do you think the outcome is going to be like? And do you think that this is just about Milagro, or this is about Fraudulent Nation trying to instill fear in independent media platforms so that they can control the narrative? Do you think that it's still about that situation? And personally, for Bongo 2, I kind of feel sorry for her for allowing her face to be used like this by Fraudulent Nation, because they are using her as the face of injustice. They are using her as a face of unfairness. They are using her as the face of oppression. And I do know one thing about those people. If there's anything that you need to know about those people, is that once you become a liability, if people push back on Bongo 2, or if they continue to push back on her, what are they going to do? Throw her to the wolves. They are well known for doing that. I mean, if he could snake people that he came up with, what about you? You saw how he did the Didla? And you think that he genuinely does have your best interest at heart. And you're allowing them to use you to make a statement to independent media platforms. And when these people start pushing back and start going brutal on you, guess who's not going to be there holding the bottle for you? Them. They're not going to be doing that. They will be at a Kris Jenner birthday party, and you will be at home dealing with the guilty conscience of the unthinkable things that you're being accused of doing. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about all of this. That being said, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. 6ix9ine had a couple of things to say about why Nicki Minaj continues to speak out and to do things that she does. Indirectly, this man is telling you what exactly is going on behind this. This is a man in the industry, and this man is telling you that Nicki keeps on banging her hands on the stove to show people the truth. But the people don't want the truth. The people just want the girl with audacity to be silenced so that they can feel comfortable with their own silence, to say that, well, we can't speak because there are consequences. They can't console each other for their lack of bravery once you stop speaking. So, unfortunately, the people that Nicki Minaj is trying to show what's happening, they just don't care. They do not care. These are the people that would rather sit and lie to each other than face reality. So there is nothing you can do at this point to make these people see the truth, because the reality is they know the truth. They just don't want to acknowledge that they know it. They want to pretend to be ignorant, because pretending to be ignorant is comfortable for them. But let me insert what 6ix9ine had to say. It's
I keep burning my hand on the stove. Like, it's not. Everybody has to cross. Everybody has to burn their hand on that stove, right? Me, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna keep burning my hand on the stove. Like, it's not. I think every time you burn your hand on the stove is a good thing. Like, it sounds crazy, but every time you burn your hand on that stove, it's for a greater cause. I think Nicki's burning her hand on that stove to expose something greater.
Well, there you heard that, you guys. There you heard that. Now, moving on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, our favorite DJ on this channel, DJ Akademiks. A DJ with no set, but a DJ that lately has been advocating against Fraudulent Nation. Yes, Akademiks! One thing about Fraudulent Nation is you can never be bigger than the program. No matter how much you leak their behind, your day will come. And once you cross paths with Fraudulent Nation, you will never, ever be the same again. This is the story of DJ Akademiks. The one who used to call all those people who spoke up against Fraudulent Nation crazy. The one who is well known for calling Nicki Minaj delusional, for calling out the double standards in the industry. Yes, that same DJ. He is making think pieces and an hour-long videos just to expose how Fraudulent Nation manipulates the media. And all this is happening because, well, they finally dealt with him personally. Personality. He got dealt with personally. And now he understands when people say that these people are evil. Never in my wildest dreams would I ever picture academics speaking up against the industry, especially Fraudulent Nation. I promise you, when I first heard academics saying that, well, Nicki Minaj is not my favorite person, but she's not crazy. I'm beginning to understand her. I said, academics, welcome to Mama. Welcome to the pink house. Isn't life just so funny? What goes around certainly comes around. But anyway, let me insert what academics had to say about Fraudulent Nation controlling platforms such as Rolling Stone. For those of you who wondered why that platform is always hell-bent on writing negative articles about certain people, well, academics has it all covered. Let me allow you to listen to our favorite, our newly favorite DJ on this channel, and it's DJ Academics. Let me say that, you guys. I'm not gonna come back after this, but it's just funny to me looking back and seeing how life comes at you fast. After the black vans in his backyard and in the backyards of people that worked for him, he was scared because he said some of the people that ran, his pages are not even in the US, but they had black vans at the back of their houses. Life. One thing about life, you reap what you sow. Let me insert what this man had to say. I'm not going to be coming back after that. So that being said, thank you very much, you guys, for watching. And thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and do turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time that I post. And until my next one, see you.
We got Uzi lawsuit in Rock Nation paying off the whole media. Okay. Rock Nation has now infiltrated media. Scrap it out with whatever. We got Max B on the list of topics that we will be talking about. I'll run through my topic list and you tell me if I'm missing anything. Okay, we got Uzi lawsuit in Rock Nation paying off the whole media. Okay. Rock Nation has now infiltrated media, and I've always said this, and I want to jump into the first topic too quick. The way how you control the masses, and I've learned this a long time ago, the most important form of power is influence. Why I say that is that if you could influence someone how to think or how to act, it's way more powerful than forcing someone to do anything or any other form of power. So I think influence is the supreme form of power. How do you get influence? Well, celebrity status, cultural equity, but media definitely has a role. Why? Because a situation can happen, and depending on how the media reports it, depending on what information they leave out, they add in, the context or the light that they shape things in, you might see in a very different light. This is why all billionaires, they invest heavily once they get to that point in owning a part of media. Okay? I believe Washington Globe, we could quickly look it up. It's owned by one of these big billionaires. I think Jeff Bezos has, he owns some newspaper. We could Google it right now. Which news outlet Jeff Bezos owns? Washington Post. He owns, I believe, Boston Globe. Who owns Boston Globe? Okay, I don't know what that is. Oh, well, actually, that's a billionaire that we just don't know that well. Billionaires and media companies they own. Once you hit billionaire status, you gotta get like a huge media company, right? Rupert Murdoch, he owns Fox News, okay, and the Wall Street Journal, right? Elon Musk, he owns X. Yes, X is still media, right? He could shadow ban if one day y'all start talking shit about Tesla, shadow ban that shit if he wants to, You have Patrick Soon-Shiong. They own LA Times, Time Mag. Rarefied air that people actually become a billionaire. That sometimes when you see the inequity among people, there's homeless people can't starve, there's SNAP benefits on the line, and you've seen someone just, you gotta think what a billionaire is. Like, a billionaire is a millionaire 1,000 times over, right? So, a guy who's a millionaire is like him having $1, and that nigga got 1,000. So, at a point, you usually realize that they try to play Monopoly in life. You have to kind of control the people in how they think, how information is disseminated, and also you gotta play a little bit of defense, right? Because at some points, they start demonizing you. Hey, this guy, he's taking from the poor, he's doing this, he's living off government grants. He has this unfair advantage, and the people will start to hate those people. So the way you kind of balance it out, you got to get a media company. That's just always how it works. You get a media company that's going to be super favorable to you and just kind of seed information that could help your agenda. Again, remember, I keep telling you, even more than money's a form of power, or currency, or whatever you would call money in whatever economy you're in. But the most important form of power is influence. And media companies have a lot of influences. That's why billionaires, they're not trying to make money off owning, Washington Post. That's a defunct type of outlet, but it's about being able to control the narrative. Why do I say this? I say this because this happens everywhere, right? It not only happens with the highest of the highest when it comes to the Jeff Bezos of the world, Elon Musk. Elon Musk ain't making money from Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, he's talked about the losses when he first got it. Maybe the losses got a little bit less, but it's still like, it's losing him money, right? That's not where he's gaining his money. But what does he gain? He gained tremendous influence that he could use for his other agendas. I believe the same thing, and every time I go down this rabbit hole, I feel like people look at me, or some of y'all be like, yo, Ak is losing it. He's starting to get a little bit cuckoo, because I'm drawing these parallel with people who are playing in billion-dollar realm. Jay-Z, Rock Nation. And I know y'all be like, oh my God, here we go. You about to go Alex Jones on us again. No, I'm not. So, I was watching over the last couple days, right? How media, and I've always told you this, like, media choose to report things
very differently. Like, I can see TMZ's agenda based on what they report and what they don't report. I can see Rolling Stones, Breakfast Club, or Clear Channel, or actually it's called iHeartMedia. And all these companies have different agendas. Shit, I don't even lie. You might say I have an agenda too. Cool. I have certain biases. I think I'm pretty open with them. These other companies, they're not open with whatever biases they have. So you kind of have to use this like analysis to see what's going on behind the veil. And why am I saying this? Again, I'm trying to fast track this long intro. So a story, like for example, I've made these huge viral Rolling Stone articles, or I like to call them hit pieces, for like very minor things, but if they want to categorize me as, Ack is misogynistic or whatever, like they do these huge pieces on it. Ack is right wing now, like okay, like that, like even if I was a Republican, like that's the big news that everybody should want to consume. Why do they do it? It's clear, you know what I mean? Like they're leaning into their listeners, their followers. That's probably left leaning, and if they could create a central enemy, they're gonna get more clicks, whatever the case is. I don't even think personally Rolling Stones has it in for me. However, it was interesting this weekend, or actually in the last 4 or 5 days, there was a huge story that came out. Huge, I mean huge. It was about Uzi and Rock Nation being sued. Now I love Uzi, and this is nothing personal towards him, but I only bring this up because I have to kind of use my platform, or what's left of it, to continue to shine a light onto what everybody else won't shine a light on, right? So you tell me, if it's academics having an argument with a woman on social media, it's breaking news. Ack, the right wing leaning social commentator, is beefing with another woman, and he uses misogynistic overtones in the language. Huge story. There's a website. By the way, these are the same people. When I got sued for whatever, they couldn't stop printing that. Former assistant is suing Lil Uzi Vert and Rock Nation for harassment and labor violations. Now, the ironic thing about this is that even on X, and by the way, we're going to try to find this story elsewhere, but even on X, it's like case dismissed after 17 days. Huh? Doesn't sound right. Okay. Former personal assistant filed a lawsuit on October 20th in Los Angeles against rapper Uzi, Rock Nation, and Uzi Vert LLC, alleging sexual harassment via explicit messages, verbal advances, unpaid overtime, and excessive work hours up to 39 hours, and unreimbursed expenses over 3 years, leading her to her resignation in April 2025. The complaint claimed the companies, that would include Rock Nation, ignored her reports and enabled the misconduct, violating California labor laws. Ironic. On November 6th, they're claiming the plaintiff voluntarily dismissed the case without prejudice, or with prejudice, actually. Barring refiling without court approval, with settlement details sealed. Okay. Now, the first thing when I see this, I said, wow, this is like a bombshell, allegation. And I'm not here to say any of these things are true. But we all do remember during the time of Diddy getting 5 accusations a day, we saw a myriad of hip-hop outlets, or outlets that covered hip-hop, they would plaster these stories all about. Here it is. The Jane Doe. Another one. This is Diddy trying to fuck whoever, right? So I looked at this and I was like, let me see if I can find this shit on other websites, right? Rock Nation, Lil Uzi sued. And really, the outlet I was looking for, and by the way, I just want to also show you here, right? Once you get down here, it says Complex, and there's a bunch of Instagram blogs. Well, Hot New Hip Hop's in there too. A bunch of Instagram blogs. Look, 42CO, what the fuck is that? Facebook. I guess XXL did post it. But you're not going to see major news coverage of this story that I think is super major. Unlike if academics was arguing with a woman, that they could plaster on all these outlets. Now, it's not about me. It's me using, and this is why I did that whole intro talking about what is, how people with power affect things, right? This would be a huge story if Rock Nation was not connected to it. Again, Rolling Stones, they'll post you for less. Let's see if Rolling Stones post this. Maybe they did. Maybe it's not being front paged. Okay, we're on their website. All right, let's go to search. Let's go to search. Let's see what's going on. Now, I also want to do this in context. And by the way, this is not me running interference for Drake, because I've seen Rolling Stones do hit pieces on me, and many other people within hip hop. I'm sorry, the camera's blurry. But Rolling Stone, Drake, let's just do that. So I want to give you some context of what they would post. By the way, Nancy Dillon, one of their hip hop writers, wrote, there's a lawsuit against Spotify claiming billions of Drake streams were fraudulent. Okay? All right, cool. Now, a new class action lawsuit, remember, this is November 3rd. This is what really kicked off that whole thing. Rolling Stone dropped this bombshell of a story that made it seem with a Drake picture, not Spotify logo. Remember, it's a lawsuit against Spotify. They didn't have a Spotify logo. They didn't have a Spotify logo and Drake. It just has a picture of Drake. Again, I'm talking about media and influence. And this is how fickle the media is. If everything should be fair, but the difference between Fox News and CNN is if you tilt it a little bit this way, you get a whole different conclusion than if you tilt it a little bit that way. I'm explaining media to you. So, to the regular person who sees this, they're like, oh shit, Drake is Biden. What the fuck? We got him. Rolling Stones, we trust them. They're saying, yo, Drake is Biden. Now, remember I read the lawsuit. The lawsuit accuses Spotify of not being able to supposedly police botting on their platforms, which are claiming everybody is doing. But they did include Drake's name because they said he's the most popular on the platform. Was it a case that they said, oh, y'all are allowing Drake to bot? No, they're saying everybody's botting. And this guy, who's the most streamed artist, he's an example. How does Rolling Stones That's not Rolling Stones. Rolling Stone. How did they put it on their site? Drake, billions of Drake streams are fraudulent. Just read here. Billions of Drake streams fraudulent. You know why? To the uneducated person, that's all they care about. To the K-bots and the other people that don't, that's all they care about. Fuck, got it. Now, surely if they posted this, surely, I would assume, what's up with this, the blur? I would assume that they would have posted an assistant who claimed they were sexually harassed, and their reports to Roc Nation and other companies involved in the mix flat out ignore them, right? Let's search it up. Okay, Roc Nation. Now, this is gonna tell you all you need to know. Anything you're gonna see with Roc Nation, you know, Rolling Stone they're known for hit pieces. They're known for hit pieces. Anything with Roc Nation seems like, look, it's free Meek Mill. By the way, this was a Roc Nation agenda at the time, right? Look, brutally beaten by rogue cops. The jailed rapper has been, oh wow, okay, all right, okay. DJ Khaled, who was on Roc Nation, okay. Jay-Z and Alicia Keys signed a letter demanding justice. Oh my God, it's like a political, very pro Roc Nation website. Jay-Z's Roc Nation really wants a casino in Times Square. If you scroll down, you'll realize there's not one negative article, not one hit piece about Roc Nation at all. Okay, and that's perhaps. Hold on. That is perhaps. Give me 1 second. Here we go. This. Give me 1 second. Let me not lose the plot here. I thought I had it pulled up. Give me 1 second. Don't lose that thought. Okay. That is perhaps. Hold on. That is perhaps on one of their what they're calling their culture panels. You know who sits on that? Who sits on that panel? The CEO of Roc Nation. Okay. I'm not gonna click into this. I'm not even how to get into this, but oh yeah. She sits in one of their exclusive. She sits on their exclusive culture panel. Okay. She's the founder and CEO of Roc Nation. And I'm only bringing that up because you would have not probably otherwise known. And I'm not even saying this is a bad thing, but it's very important that we understand why certain things don't get the same light as others. Roc Nation basically is on the damn board. You get what I'm saying? If you got a CEO that is affecting culture over here, they're probably going to make sure you're not writing hit pieces on me. Let's write him on my ops, but not me. Drake, we don't like that nigga. Write it. Matter of fact, put that nigga in the goddamn, put his picture as the fucking thing for bots. Oh, that nigga over there? Run a hit piece. He's a sexual harasser. He's an abuser. Fuck it. He's a rapist. Desiree Perez? Oh, Roc Nation is ignoring an assistant getting sexually harassed and taken advantage of? Let's act like we don't see it. That's the whole point I'm gonna say. Anyway, fortunately, there's other outlets out there, including mine. And I actually want to do some due diligence on what's going on with this shit. I gotta see what's the deal. What's the deal with this shit right now?